Welcome to Improving Your Lifestyle with Dr. Olia, spotlighting global news and interviews. Let's talk about it. It's time for the Dr. Olia Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dr. Olia Show. We are so excited about this episode. We're going to be doing a two-parter, and we welcome our studio audience in all around the world. We have a fantastic, dynamic couple that's joining me in the studio today. We're going to be talking about marriage, the covenant marriage, ministry, careers, families, and blending families by God's design. Please, 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 let me say that again. Please join me as I welcome our wonderful guests, Minister James Barber and Pastor Diane Moreno Barber. Please welcome them, everybody. Wow, it's so good to have y'all join me today in the studio.
Good to be here.
We're excited about this. And I understand y'all some singing people too.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be able to hear y'all hit a tune someplace before we leave.
Okay.
So I want to just welcome you to the show today. We're excited. I've heard so much about both of you. I've known James for a little while through my brother, and I've gotten to know you a little bit better as I have observed you on television, YouTubes, and those things. So I'm so excited to have you join us today. So what I want to do is first, I want the people, our viewers, to get to know you a little bit better. You know, Pastor Diane, you originally was born in Bennettsville, South Carolina?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's a little town down what, south?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Originally, that's where I was born, but I grew up in High Point, North Carolina.
Okay, okay. And James, Minister James, where are you? You in the big city in South Carolina. Where's that?
It's called Van Wyck, South Carolina.
Van Wyck.
That's a big city.
Big city. And some people call it Van Wyck,
Right.
but it's Van Wyck.
Yes.
Okay. So I wanted to find out a little bit more about you. I understand you grew up in High Point, and this is Pastor Diane. And you have how many relatives, how many sisters, brothers?
It was three of us. My mother had three children, and one of them is deceased now, but I have a sister that lives in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
So very small family.
Yeah. Yeah. And growing up there, were your mother always a minister? And I understand she is. She was.
Yeah.
I'll say she is.
My mother was the pastor, started and founded Mercy Outreach Church of Deliverance, and she went home to be with the Lord and named me her successor. So here I am.
Your pastor.
Yes.
Yeah, at a church in High Point.
Yes, ma'am.
And the name of the church is?
Mercy Outreach Church of Deliverance.
Church of Deliverance. And Minister Barber, you are from the Van Wyck area. Tell us a little bit about you and you growing up and your family briefly.
Well, I grew up in Van Wyck, a little small town, but everybody was close-knitted.
Yeah.
My church, White Oak Edmond Zion Church.
I'm familiar with that church. Yeah.
And my pastors, I pastor Justin Barber. He's a young minister, but he's doing good things there. But I had the opportunity to play around and just grow up there.
Yeah. And how many in your family? With your mom and your sisters?
Brothers? Three boys and one girl.
3 boys and 1 girl?
Yeah, 2 boys, 1 girl.
2 boys and 1 girl.
2 boys and 1 girl. My mom had, she never was married.
Yeah.
She raised us.
Yeah.
And, but she passed in, 05.
Okay.
Yes. And then my brother passed in 06. And it's just me and my sister left.
Oh, just you and your sister. Okay. So I want us to kind of, get real comfortable because I want to ask some serious questions. We want to talk about the covenant marriage, and we're going to talk about ministry. And I know that y'all should just be right at home talking about all of that. And also blended families. Now, tell us a little bit. You went to school also in High Point,
Yes,
Esther?
I did. I went to school in High Point as well. Andrews High School was where I attended. And, just grew up in the High Point area, was married very young. I became a mother very young.
About
17 when I had my first son, and I was married at 18.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah, so just, have been married in my first marriage for 24 years.
Wow.
And
that's quite a while.
Yeah, ended in divorce.
Yeah.
So here I am. I'm remarried.
You're remarried.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, Minister Barbara, I want to call him pastor. That's what I really want to call him, but that is what you do. And you've never been married before. This is your first marriage.
Yeah, this is my first marriage, and we married to death do us part.
To death do us part. That sounds like a covenant marriage to me. Yes? To death do us part, but better for worse and richer for poor and all of that. All those wonderful things that people say when they get married. Yeah. And you got married at what? What age were you when you...
48 when I got married.
You got 48 when you got married? Yeah.
I waited around... I used to date, so I used to work for Warren. So work all the time.
48.
And
you always had some sort of business as an entrepreneur. Yeah.
And I had to take care of my family. And so my mom was never married, so I had to make sure she was straight.
You took care.
Oh, yeah.
And your brothers.
Yeah, my brother and my sister. And at 21, I put my mom in the house,
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's wonderful.
Not to worry about nothing,
Yeah.
But
you came like the head of the house, so to speak, like the male in the house and help.
Yeah, but I never looked at it that way.
You never saw it that way?
I just do what God had said for me to do. And then I got 3 boys and 1 girl, so I had to take care of them too. So I had to be out in the field working, make it do what a man's supposed to do.
Yeah. Okay. So now you were married, and that didn't work, though you were in it for a long time. And the children?
We had 3 boys and 1 girl.
3 boys and 1 girl. Wow. And then the daughter is what a lot of people hear about.
Yeah, Fantasia.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever think that she would be doing what she's doing, when you were going through the struggles in your marriage?
I know she was destined for something. She was always a special child that loved the Lord from an early age and sang since she was able to talk.
But you sing too.
I do.
You have an awesome voice. I've heard you. Powerful gospel singing.
Yeah.
They call it that deep singing.
Yeah. So I never. When she was growing up and, part of ministry, she would always they would prophesy over her life.
That she would be doing something.
Yeah, that she would do great things. So, and it came to pass. If God said it, it shall come to pass. Yeah, so it did.
So tell me your journey, and you went through all of that, and this is your second marriage. And then how did y'all meet? What was that like? Kind of share with us. What was that like?
We met, and at that time, I was just freshly coming through that divorce and vowed to never do that again.
I'm not doing that again, right? I'm not going to.
Yeah, but we met. I had my nieces at the airport. They're from Texas, Dallas, and they were going back, and he was flying someplace else.
Yeah, I was going to Kansas, promoting my CD.
So you were singing. Let me back up a little bit here. So you were singing. You was with a group as well.
I was, but at the time I met him,
you wasn't.
I wasn't because I kind of pulled away from it for a season and wasn't really doing a lot of singing. Just kind of trying to get my life back. When you go through a divorce, it's different things. You want to try to take your time and move slow. Yeah. So that's what I was doing. I wasn't really doing a lot of singing. Yeah. But he was on his way someplace, and I was taking my nieces to the airport. I think they were on the same flight.
Okay.
And the flight was delayed or something. So he and I got into conversation, and that's where we met.
That's where you're at. So I want to redial it back a little bit more, because I want to find out a little bit about, because you shared with me about a group that you used to sing with.
Oh,
it was a family group.
It was a family group.
What was the name of that group?
The Barino family.
The Barino family.
Yeah, it was me and my husband at that time and the kids.
Was it quartet? What style would you
Kind of, sort of, yeah, but we was kind of
mixed.
Yeah, we was kind of mixing it up a little bit with worship, praise and worship. But mostly we did do a lot of quartet. Yeah.
Okay. So did Fantasia sing?
Oh, of course.
Lead a lot?
Yeah.
Were you a leader also?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So then the musical people, then you've been with the quartet group for about how many years now?
Well, that's since I was 13.
13 years old.
I started out playing drums for the Spirit Sensation.
Yeah.
And then I would help a lot of churches out. And I helped other groups out
Over the year, yeah.
South Carolina. So, and then as we progressed and as my nephews started getting older,
yeah,
then they started playing music. Started them playing music, and then they took it from there. And so
yeah.
then I started JB and Focus.
JB and Focus.
Yeah.
JB and Focus. And JB means what? What does JB mean?
That means just blessed, but that's James Barber.
Just blessed. James Barber. Just
It's James Barber.
I loved that.
But we started that, and then we started recording
Yeah.
in 07.
Okay.
Doing some recording and just enjoying just having a good time.
Yeah.
At the time, I was on TV, on radio.
Oh, radio.
Yeah,
You were a radio announcer during this time? Okay.
Radio announcer. And so we really enjoyed doing that. And it just everything. And that's why I was going to Kansas, because after I had recorded,
Yeah.
I wanted to get my music out and start getting it played.
So you were promoting at this time.
Yeah. I was going to a convention out there.
Yeah. So we want to talk about destiny. People love to talk about destiny. Maybe y'all were just destined to meet. You were there for one reason. He was there promoting his project. So before we go any further, because we're going to go deeper and talk about the covenant marriage and ministry and families and blended families and entrepreneurship. But what I want to do now, and if you would join me, we're going to go for a break for Dr. Olia's Global News, and we'll be right back.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Dr. Olia's Global News. I'm Yokima Perez. In today's news, we're spotlighting Focus on the Family, featuring an article by Carol Heffernan, God's Design for Marriage. It's easy to think that only other people get divorced, and that your own marriage is somehow immune to heartache. Consequently, you think only others experience infidelity and fights over who gets the house, the car, the dog. After all, how many of us could walk down the aisle if we believed our relationship would end up in divorce court? Truth is, no relationship comes with a lifetime guarantee. Even men and women who grew up in stable homes are at risk. Even those who attend church, consider themselves Christian, and promise until death do us part, can have it all fall apart. As Christians, we know that applying biblical principles to marriage will give us a stronger foundation than those of our unbelieving friends. Surely we know this, but what are we doing about it? In other words, what makes a marriage Christian? According to author Gary Thomas, we're not asking the right questions. What if your relationship isn't as much about you and your spouse as it is about you and God? Instead of asking why we have struggles in the first place, the more important issue is how we deal with them. In Sacred Marriage, Thomas has not written your typical How to Have a Happier Relationship book. Rather, he asks, how can we use the challenges, joys, struggles, and celebrations of marriage to draw us closer to God? What if God designed marriage to make us happy and holy? For more information about Carol Heffernan or about Focus on the Family, visit their website. I'm Yochimba Perez. Back to you, Dr. Olia.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. We just heard some powerful information about love and marriage in our global news from our recorder. So we're going to get back now to more of the conversation with the Barbers. We have Minister James and Pastor Diana Marino Barber. Okay, so now you guys, let's create this picture here. Now you guys in on this trip in Kansas, right? So, and then you met him, did you like him? Was it like, oh wow, he's a nice guy? Was it anything like that? Or did you look at her and say, man, she's beautiful?
Oh, yeah. Yes, yeah. When I saw her, she was glowing,
Yes.
She was delightful.
Okay, he's in the... You were glowing.
Oh,
I love that.
But we just because I had William Mobley with me. We was going
I'm familiar with him.
And we just started a conversation, to start talking.
Yes.
And at that time, right after that time, Sean Crawford, that's my cousin that won the Olympics.
Okay.
In 04.
Okay.
So we was talking, and she was sharing with me that her daughter was on a float, with Sean Crawford. I used to always hear my mom, they'll look at one again. They'll look at one again.
Wow.
I was working so much, I'm like, what girl? What girl? Fantasia, and so she was telling me about her daughter was on a float in, I think it was Raleigh.
in New York.
New York.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, the Macy's parade.
Yeah, the parade.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we started talking, and so I told her what I was doing. So she said, well, I got some people down in High Point or Greensboro. I'll let them know you got the CD, and so give it to them and let them know.
The little setup was it?
Yeah.
She set me up.
I'm not sure who said who. That started to be really bad. She set me up. Okay. Well, anyway, you ended up together. So thank the Lord for that. And I thought it was interesting. You shared with me that you have 3 sons.
Yes.
And then 1 daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we know that daughter, it's well known all over the world now. And you also had 3 sons.
Yeah.
And 1 daughter.
Yes, I have 3 sons and 1 daughter.
All right. That's kind of taking us into the blended family a little bit. Now you guys, but before that, I want our audience to kind of get a picture of, okay, how did you propose to her? Or did you propose to him? Or he proposed to you, right?
I think we had been dating for some time, some months. But I was dating him, and I didn't tell him that I was a minister at first. Because I wanted him to
know.
Because, sometimes people will shy away from that. If they know, it's like, oh no, that's too much. I can't.
Too much.
So I didn't tell him all of that.
Right, maybe.
So I didn't say all of that. So we just dated and enjoyed one another and went out and, different things. So finally, the Spirit of the Lord was like, you got to tell him who you are.
Wow.
You got to tell him.
Hey, who has that?
Yeah, I did, because I know people sometimes.
That's true.
You know.
No.
So I did. I told him, and I said, I called him and told him to meet me. And he met me, and I said, well, I just got something to tell you that I should have told you in the beginning, that I am a minister. He's like, a minister, like a preacher? I was like, yeah. So he said, well, that's fine.
So what?
He said, I've been praying that God send me a praying woman. That's what he said. So that's kind of where we started.
Yeah.
And decided that we would get married and not just,
Wow.
That
time, did anybody in particular ask, or you just kind of merged?
It kind of merged.
Merged it. That's wonderful.
And at that time, see, my mom had passed, and I was like null. I was out, it's just like, man, I was in the now, seemed like. Yeah. But I was just working to make sure I taking care of everything. And my mom told me before she left this world that, that I ain't gonna be here all the time. Find you a wife.
Yes.
And everybody else I was dating, I was just too busy for them. I guess.
Busy for them.
They didn't realize, man, I got to work to make money to buy you something.
You are a worker. You just work. And the type of work you do?
Well, I do landscaping. I do some of everything.
You do some of
I would say, man, don't work, you don't eat.
Yeah, right.
So I got to be able to take care of my family. So, but anyway, everything is a life experience. So,
Yeah.
I'm so glad to have my wife, you
find it the good thing. Oh, yeah. And find it the wife who can find it. A good thing. You find a good thing, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, and now in quartet singing, and you said, it's been about 18 years or more that you were.
Yes, it's been since it's been 24 years. I've been singing quartet and playing ever since I was 13.
Wow.
But really getting serious with it.
Yes.
And juggling, working and rehearsing and putting groups together like that.
Yeah.
So
it's a passion.
It's a passion.
It still is.
Yeah.
Because I heard you singing in the green room. You were just singing, talking to people. You just singing all the time, which is a very good thing. It's your passion. It's your purpose.
Well, music melts the heart, and if people will listen to good music, it's life at the church.
Yeah,
but if people just listen to good music, then there comes so much destruction and everything. Because sometimes you can just hear just a good song, you going through a bad day, get up, seem like things just ain't working right, All of a sudden, a good song come on,
change your mood. Change your mood.
Yeah.
I want to go a little deeper in talking about covenant marriages, because we know we meet someone and we either fall in love, and I was just sharing with you about my book. It's called Are You in Love or in Lust? And do you know the difference? And we know the Bible talks about lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. So in writing that book, it's because I saw so many families and marriages. They start out, it's so beautiful. It's so exciting, planning the wedding, all of these things. It's so in love and all of that. And then divorce. That's a painful experience just for those that's observing, and not to mention people that's in. So I want to talk about covenant marriage and you guys now. How long you have been married? About how long?
17 going on 18 years.
17, yeah.
Yeah, been very.
We just had an anniversary. April the 7th. Yeah, it was our anniversary.
Good Friday.
Yeah, it was Good Friday week.
It was a Good Friday. It was a Good Friday.
It was a Good Friday. Married on Saturday.
Yeah.
So the challenges, because, and I have a question from one of our viewers out of Atlanta, and I'm going to ask that in just a little bit. Also out of Sunny Isles, Miami, Florida, they had a question for you. They've been kind of following the career. I think one young lady was at your wedding.
Oh.
She was out of Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay.
So being married, you in love, you started out, wonderful wedding and all of that. And being in the public's eye a lot, even more so because of having a famous, a celebrity daughter, and also because of you have a career in singing. What has it been like, when you first started out? Did y'all have lots of challenges like a lot of people do? And if you did, tell us, our viewers, some of the things that you might have done maybe right or some things you didn't do quite right that could possibly help others that may be going through some challenges in their marriages.
Well, my mind was made up when I got married. So, for better, for worse, and ain't no one perfect.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, I don't want to go to sleep been arguing with my wife because I wear hats, ain't no time for it. Yeah. That's what I mean. You know, we discuss anything, and we if we don't see eye to eye to it, well, hey, that's your choice.
That's your choice.
That's my choice.
I was just
that's totally your choice. See, because the thing about it is with me, man, I trust God.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is, how can we say we love each other when we tearing each other down?
Yeah.
And how can you be for better for worse if some things come worse, but you don't want to be better with the worse?
Yeah. And when you say it, well, I married you for better,
Right.
I think most people be looking at that way. That for better,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
What about that for worse?
That's right.
Because some say we can have a rainy day,
Oh, yeah.
a thunderstorm, right?
Well, God got a plan.
Yeah, he got a plan.
He got a plan for all of us. I don't care how bad it seems.
He got a plan.
And my wife's, if her car break down or whatever, if we can't send it to the shop, I'm going to fix it.
Coming soon, Dr. Olia's Relationship Series, a journey into love, passion, and sexuality by God's design. Join us as we delve into hot topics from Dr. Olia's book. Are you in love or in lust? Do you know the difference? Let's explore the fine line that separates the two. Discover what happens when love turns to hate. How to choose your life partner wisely. From self-love to navigating through the realms of singledom, marriages, divorce, recovery, and blended families. Dr. Olia covers it all. Don't miss out on the opportunity to enhance your understanding of relationships and embark on a journey towards love, passion, and sexuality by God's design. Join us for Dr. Olia's Relationship Series. Let's talk about it.